Greetings guys and gals, this is XIJABERWALKIX bringing you the best in esports, and today we have the Winners League, STX Seoul versus SKT1, Bisu versus Calm winning his first match. So now obviously we go on to set 2 with Calm versus Bisu. Bisu is going to be spawning at the top right as the red toss, and at the bottom left we have the yellow Zerg. Calm. Bisu's best matchup is against Zerg, so that's a little bit. Whoa, that was a funky sound, man. A very, very funky sound. Like, doo. Anyways, I am using my new-ish mic. It's really actually an old mic. It looks like one of those Walkman headsets with like just a mic attached to it. It's really ghetto and old. It has decent recording quality, so I'm using it. It makes my voice sound a little bit stuffy though. It makes me sound like I've got a cold, and I know I already kind of sound like that anyways, so it makes it just 20 times worse. But hopefully pretty soon I'll be getting the Ear Force Z2s from Turtle Beach. If you guys know anything about that or any better recording device around the price range of $50, please let me know if those Z2s are worth the price. I kind of looked at a bunch of reviews and the Bunky just freaking dying. But yeah, I looked at a few reviews and they said it was a very, very good headset, and so that's what I'm probably going to go with. Especially what I want is I want it to be compatible with the Xbox 360 as well as 50mm speakers, along with 2 3.5mm cables that insert into the head jack and the microphone jack rather than a USB. So if any other microphone has that around $50, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll get back to the game, this probe being very, very annoying for Bisu. And we're just going to pretty much see a standard game here. We have the hatchery going down, I believe, right now, and since Bisu has scouted in Calm's base, he's going to know what he needs to put down. First, second, and third hatchery now going down at the natural. Another drone going out to possibly scouting for any type of cheese. It looks like it made a little bit of a loop there, and then came back. Spawning pool was first, so I think he went 12 pool into expansion. Bisu's going to realize this and probably put down his forge first, but now putting down his nexus as he sees that there are only 2-ish Zerglings coming out. Zerglings going to the opposite direction towards his base, putting down a cannon, but definitely put down his nexus before that cannon was done. Obviously putting down the forge, might even put down a second cannon before the gateway, but I'm assuming it's going to be gateway and then maybe possibly another cannon. There goes the gateway. And Pylon coming up pretty soon in his base. Extractor going down for Calm as well. Probably going to double expand, which is very, very standard now against Protoss these days. And I was talking to some people about SC2, because SC2 just got the latest patch 1.2, which I don't know how I feel, but I like it a lot. Masters League just gives me another thing to go for. I'm almost into Diamond, just so close to being in the Diamond, similar to going down for Bisu. But now I have to get into Masters League 2. I was about to be at the top tier of leagues, and now I have to go up one more. And I think Diamond is like the top, or Masters is the top 2% or something like Diamond. So it might take me a while, but we'll see. Cybernetics core going out for Bisu, so he's going to get his Stargate fairly soon. Might even pop out a Zealot for some defense as well. Layer morphing in. Probe scouts that. Very, very important to know the layer timing. And anyways, so what I was talking about is SC2, and I was telling him how the foreigners are not quite as good. I mean, you know that Jinro and Idra are in the round of 32 or something like that. And if you haven't, go check out that game. I haven't actually watched it. I do know the results, though. It's similar to going down at the natural for Bisu as well. But how higher play Koreans have than foreigners, and it's really unarguable. I mean, the people that are even playing in the GSL right now are not the good Broodwar players. You look at people like Zergbong, aka Nest, winning a GSL. He wasn't good in Broodwar. He was not good at all. And people try to say it is a different game, and it is. I totally agree with that, but you know, I'm sure if Flash tried to go play Command and Conquer, he would be at the top tier of play as well. And if Flash, Bisu, Jaedong, Calm, and all of them, +1 weapons going up for Bisu, it looks like. If they all played StarCraft 2, I'm sure they would be at the top, near the top, definitely. And you even see Boxer, who didn't even play that much lately in the Star Leagues, or didn't really make it into any individual leagues. And he made it to the round of 4 in the second GSL, so really there's no argument there that the Korean play is still way ahead of foreigners. Probe Scout's still alive, Bisu playing to his name, Mr. I keep my probes alive forever, finally going down to those Zerglings. About 8 Zerglings there, 3 Zealots at the front, another Gateway morphing in, Citadel of Adun also going to be going for that Zealot speed. We don't see another Stargate, so probably not going to go for a big Sayer DT build. Spire's morphing in as well. And I think the first Sayer is out for Bisu. Looks like it's coming cross position, and probably going to be able to pick off an Overlord. This is the exact timing that you want, like I was saying, unlike the timing that Cal had versus Calm, maybe. No, it was not Cal and Calm, it was somebody else. But they got their Corsairs out way later. They're going for a Sayer DT type build, and I just casted that game. I can't believe I don't remember who that was. Yeah, I just casted it, but at any rate, it's really standard for the Protoss player to kill off one Overlord, so it's kind of to the point now that you really need to actually kill off an Overlord. At least one. 2 is preferable, but 1 is definitely necessary if you want to stay in economic, what's the word? I don't know, if you want to stay even, is what I mean. Here comes some Zealots from Bisu. I'm assuming that speed is being upgraded at the Citadel. Not entirely sure though. Calm does have another hatchery morphing in at that 9 o'clock position. And I'm sorry if you guys hear me adjusting that mic. It's probably really annoying, but I had an itch on my ear, so I just had to scratch it. The Spire is up now, so I'm assuming Scourge is going to be popping out. He is morphing Sunkens at the front, but it looks like more forces coming in for Bisu, and Bisu is going to probably go in for this quick little timing push that he's discovered versus Zerg with the +1 weapons and the upgrade, because +1 weapons allows you to kill Zerglings in 1 less hit, which is very critical comparatively, because if they have a ton of Zerglings out, you're going to kill them just that much faster. Looks like he goes in. The Zealot speed is finished now and almost moving in, but looks like he's being a little bit reluctant. We have the the Cybernetics Core spinning as well. Here comes Bisu coming in for an attack. The Sun Colonies are a very good position. Drones coming off the line to defend. He's going to probably be able to get behind here, but I don't think he has enough Zealots. There's just too much there, and so Bisu's going to have to back up. But the Cybernetics Core is obviously spinning for the +1 attack for air for those Corsairs. That hatchery finally done, so I think that he's at a 5 hatch build, or at the very least 4 hatches. No, he has a 5 hatches, but they're going for an early Queen's Nest, so he's going to try to go for Hive Tech off of these 3 bases, and you've seen Zerg just do this a lot more and more, is go for this Hive Tech off of the 3 bases. Usually players like to wait until the 4th, or at least their 4th is kind of going up, you know, they have that hatch planted at the 4th base. But a lot of players, you know, just going for that 3 base hive build, and some have been very successful. Obviously, you're going to have a lot less economy with just those 3 bases. Bisu at the front, he's going to have to back up. Oh, the Zergling just running right past, not even trying to pick off any of these Zealots, going in all different directions. You can just see the intense micromanagement of these pro gamers, and look, Jesus, man. All of the Zerglings just trying to scout out for individual bases. That is absolutely insane that they have the micro for that. I mean, I know that I absolutely don't. The Cybernetics Core still is spinning, so it might even be going for +2 attack on those Corsairs. Actually, he just clicked on it. It does not have it. We have +1 Carapace for air, which would probably mean something like +1 air Carapace would probably mean some greater Spire stuff, but I don't know why he would go for some greater Spire stuff at this point in time. Might just be so the Scourge are a little bit more sturdy, and so they can pick off Corsairs a little bit easier to counteract the +1 attack. He does have a Queen out, though, and so it could be for that, although I highly doubt it. It might be just to counteract the +1 attack that the Protoss player is getting. Core is still spinning, so the air is not yet researched. He just clicked on the Corsair. As you can see, Observatory now up. Bisu's definitely thinking that he's going to go for something like a Ling Lurker type build. We do have Hydralisk out. Not that many, though, so I'm assuming not a huge late Hydra break. We're probably going to see Lurkers in the near future. Archon morphed in at that position as well. Here comes some Zealot in, and Archon going to be very effective against those Zerglings. Bisu's trying to pick up an extra base, but the Zerglings there are going to probably deter it for the time being. Bisu at the front now has the Queen. Calm has the Queen out. Not necessarily sure why he has that Queen. Might be for some parasites or ensnares. Ensnares, I remember Jadong used to do some ensnare stuff, but that was against Terran players. That was against Medic Marine. Defiler Mound going up as well. These Zerglings are not going to be able to get a good block by Bisu there. Building some cannons, going to be picking up his third base. And Calm really needs to do something. He needs to expand or get an attack off. That's all it's going to be picked off. Here's a Zealot in Zergling engagement. Zergling's backing up. Alright, having some issues there, but here we go again. Hopefully I don't have issues in the near future. We have Zerglings and Hydralisk. And Scourge and more Scourge and a Queen out for Calm. And now we have some Templar out for Bisu. Bisu amassing a big force of Corsairs. So he might be able to pick off some Overlords or something of that matter like that. Picking up another Gateway, has secured his third base, so he's going to be at even bases with Calm, which, as I always say, is not good if you're the Zerg player. Defiler's Man is done, so probably researching Swarm and then Consume, which is just going to allow him to do pretty much nothing because we don't have any Dragoons out on the field. We just have Zealots and Templar, which are absolutely unaffected by Swarm. So I don't know why. I mean, it's just an early precaution. You know, if you go Hive, you go for the Defiler's Mound, but honestly, it's really not going to matter with Archons, Templar, and Zealots in the mix. And Calm knows this, so he might not even be researching Consume at the moment. He does have that Defiler out, which is... I still don't know why he has that Defiler. Anyways, we're going to see what this Queen is for. Might be doing an Ensnare. Does do a Parasite. Parasite. Queen dies, and I cannot believe that he did that Parasite, man. That Archon is just going to go sit in the corner in timeout because he's parasited, and Calm can see everything that he sees, that the Archon sees. If you guys didn't know what a Parasite was, because it hasn't been used in forever, like literally forever. I haven't seen Parasite be used in pretty much all the time that I've been watching Broodwar. I've seen it like twice in all the casts that I've seen. And keep in mind, I haven't seen like millions of casts, but I have seen my good share. And so that Parasite, man, that's really funny that he's using that. It looks like Calm might be moving out, trying to pick off this bottom right, whatever is there. Don't exactly know. Bisu might be trying to take his fourth base at the bottom right there, but something like Zerglings are moving in, and there's engagement happening down there. This Archon gets picked off, the parasited Archon, I believe. Zealots engaging some, not Dragoons, Zealots engaging some Zerglings at the bottom there. Fending off the Zerglings, might be able to secure this bottom right base. And so we're gonna see what Calm is able to do with these Lurkers, Lings, and this Defiler. The Defiler are pretty much gonna be Plague only now, actually opting to go for Plague before Swarm, I believe. I mean, in my opinion, you would have gone for Plague over Swarm just because there's not really a lot of Dragoons. Now the Dragoons comes out, so the Swarm's going to be a little bit more effective. Here comes a big engagement there. Another Plague going off. Really good Plague by Calm there. The Corsairs doing almost absolutely nothing, and Bisu storming absolutely nothing. Swarm going down, so it's going to be a little bit effective. Good storm there on all the incoming units, killing quite a few Zerglings. Another good swarm on the Templar, not the Templar. I don't know why I can't talk today. On the Lurkers and the Hydralisk. One okay storm. Here comes, oh my gosh, getting all of those Zealots. That was a really, really good Plague by Calm, and Bisu looking a little bit frustrated just because, I mean, those are some really freaking awesome Plagues. Here comes the units for Calm, and he might be able to take out this whole army just because they are so low on health. Obviously, they do have those shields, but really nothing in terms of health. And here comes some Corsairs. Oh, and Snare going all over. Those Corsairs are going to move at such a slow rate, and this Queen play is absolutely epic. It's awesome. I love this Queen play. Jadong used to do ensnares all the time, even though it was versus, ensnaring his own Defiler. This is going to be able to get picked off, unfortunately. doing a last-ditch effort plague before it died. But Jaedong used to do some, not for a while, he did it for just a little bit, but he used to do some ensnares versus some medic marine forces, and it actually was super effective. And we see the play going on, we see the ensnare going on, and we saw those parasites. Here comes a big engagement. Bisu engaging at the right moment. He just has so many zealots in the area, and I actually had to pause the recording because I had to switch mics. I tried listening to it, and I sounded like a complete idiot. So now you guys get my original recording voice, I guess. I'm using the mic with the duct tape on the side of it. But Bisu still moving in here. He has a lot of Archons, a lot of Templar. He's just got a lot of units in general. More units than the Zerg player, and that's never good when you're playing Zerg. Calm trying to take a base at the top left. And this might even get taken out by the DT, but no, it does not. And Calm still at a okay position, but Bisu just amassing so many units. I honestly think he could just bull rush in here and take the game, especially because of all of his units aren't really affected by Swarm. And oh my gosh, even Reavers in the mix as well, so we just have so much high tech for Bisu. He is at 4 bases, which is why he's able to sustain this. If these Zealots get up the ramp, they're going to be able to pretty much hold this, but it looks like they're backing up way far. They probably should have stayed at that ramp to hold off the ramp. Now they're engaging in the open area, and these are going to get cleaned up fairly easily. This base is not going to be able to get up for Bisu. Bisu is trying to take at the 12, unable to do so, although he is moving out with more units. Coming in with the Archon might get surrounded. It looks like Calm's going to the bottom right base at the same time, though, while Bisu is trying to reinforce. Bisu able to cut it off. Swarm going off on the Dragoons. Bad Storm, almost storming his own units, and he did storm his own units a little bit. Not very good storm there on the retreating force of Calm. Almost able to pick off the Defiler, but not quite. He is still at 4 bases, definitely going to be okay. Calm is at 5 bases now. We're very shortly, once that top left hatch finishes and he's able to transfer drones there. Another queen, or maybe the original queen, is just sitting outside trying to bait those forces. We might see another parasite on that Archon, and oh my gosh, this queen almost suiciding in here, gonna get picked off, so that queen is absolutely done for. Still trying to hold this 12 o'clock base is Bisu, doing a very nice job with this Archon in the mix, but the Archon goes down very quickly, as Archons pretty much are shield and nothing else. That's why plagues are pretty much useless against Archons. But Bisu, meanwhile, reinforcing this 12 o'clock position. I think he'll be able to hold it, especially with that DT. There are no overlords in the areas. There's a few Scourge still out. He really didn't use the Scourge for anything at any point in the game. He's going to have to send 2 Zealots or so up to that north to take care of those Zerglings. But again, Calm looks like he's going towards the bottom right position, but no, it looks like he pulled back. You can see on the minimap that swarm of yellow just go to that bottom right position and just pull back very slowly. Bisu's trying to take away this top left base, but at the same time, this bottom right base is a little bit under trouble, and huge plague going off on all those Corsairs. That's going to hurt so much. Oh, just like a few Mutalisk hits would honestly be able to kill that off. Obviously, Scourge wouldn't be able to because they still do have shields. Plague going off on some of the forces as well. Good storm by Bisu. Bisu might have to back up there. There's a lot of units for Calm. Another good storm getting pretty much all those Hydralisks, and all those Hydralisks go down. Bisu should probably hold, but no, he doesn't feel comfortable, and he's backing up yet again. And really, that attack allowed him to secure that expansion, so he's going to be fine. He's going to be at 5 bases. His bottom right expansion is still up. Those Corsairs still bleeding out. They're not going to die, though. Nidus Worm going down from probably the main or probably one of the front bases to that top left base, who's going to be able to reinforce fairly quickly. These Hydralisks just absolutely picking away at these Corsairs. Finally, reinforcements come to deter them away. But Calm is really in a bad position, I believe. I don't think he's going to be able to hold, but he's definitely not going to be able to push out. This Bisu just has so much of an army that I don't think that Calm's going to be able to do much. Although this bottom right base is a little bit vulnerable. There's a lot of cannons there and 2 Reavers, so I think that anything that Calm can throw at him, he's going to be able to defend, unless he goes for an all-out attack, and at that point, Bisu probably can take out the top left base. Here comes Calm, trying to do some damage. He does put a good swarm down. These Reavers are going to be in the mix though. 1 Templar's in the mix as well, and just not enough forces for Calm. I think that Bisu's going to be able to defend. Calm barely gets away with his Defiler. Very nice job there. Bisu able to hold that bottom right base, and now Bisu's just macroing up units. He's able to do so simply because he's at so many bases. He's at pretty much even bases with the Zerg player, which is absolutely fantastic for him. Calm doesn't have a lot of units. He's making Zerglings and Hydralisks. Probably doesn't have the gas to support a huge lurker-based army. He does have some lurkers in the midfield, though. But oh my gosh, more Archons morphing in. He's going very, very Archon heavy. This is going to be very, very effective versus this Hydralisk Zergling army. Those Crosshairs pretty much doing nothing at this point in the game. I think he should just keep doing some Overlord harasses, make Calm use some of his larva on Overlords, and persisting with this bottom right attack as Calm might be able to take it now, but those cannons just morphing in at time. Another swarm, 2 swarms going down. Storm, a very good swarm in the right position. Gateway morphing in to try to block that. And Bisu looks like he might be going for that top left base, might be going for another attack, but these 2 Reavers are going to be really critical. Play going off on those buildings, going to make them a little bit weaker. Bisu coming in at the top left base, going to be able to take this out. I believe there's just not enough forces for Calm. Needs to kill that Nidus network though, and looks like Calm barely able, or Bisu barely able to hold it off rather. Calm just losing so many units. So many Archons right there. Just a ridiculous amount of Archons. That Plague is going to do a little bit of damage to that Nexus, but not nearly enough. And Calm trying to take down this 12 o'clock base as well, now that he knows that that bottom right base probably isn't going to be able to take it out. Bisu needs an observer in the area, able to pick off some Overlords with those cannons. He's going to be able to deter this army for the time being, but the Overlord comes in, going to be able to kill off that DT. He needs to reinforce. Bisu needs something to go on. Calm able to take down that bottom right base. Bisu has a huge streaming Archon army coming in for one of the bases, or possibly to defend. He really doesn't know what he's doing right now. Pretty much he's just kind of sitting in the middle, needs to really commit to one thing or another, because at this point in the time those cannons aren't doing anything, and he really needs to move in. For some reason Calm built his Spire right up in the front. Not really going to matter, he's not building a lot of Mutilis, but the Spire is probably going to be able to take it out. Good Storm on all those Hydralisks, and I think that Bisu might be able to take this game. Just so many Archons in the area. Meanwhile, he's losing his 12 o'clock base, unfortunately, but taking out another base of Calms. A lot of lurkers coming in as well. If he's gonna be able to come back, it's gonna be with these lurkers. He's gonna be able to kill so much stuff, but these DTs able to pick off both of the Defilers. Oh my gosh, that's so bad for Calm. Both of his Defilers go down to DTs. He's really drastic right now. The Nexus is going to go down at the 12 o'clock, but Bisu pushing in with his Archon army at the bottom left. Going to be able to sack possibly the Hive, and it's going to be absolutely terrible. Those drones doing absolutely nothing. Bisu just pushing in, pushing in, pushing in. He's down to pretty much no mining bases. He doesn't have a mining base anymore. There's no mining base at the 12. There's not one at the bottom right. All the other bases are mined out. And it's just going to be this Archon army that's going to take it for him. He's going to have to build his spawning pool again. And Calm is just losing all of his infrastructure, losing a ton of stuff. Don't know if he even has a Hydralisk den at this point in the game. Probably should have built one up. Bisu actually at 1 mining base. It didn't look like there were minerals at that 3 o'clock base, but there are, so he's at 1 mining base. Meanwhile, Calm, I think, is at 1 or 1.5 mining bases, so pretty much even in tournament calling. These Archons are probably going to go down, but no, High Templar reinforcement and good storms on all the forces. I think that he's going to be able to defend this. Now Bisu's backing up. 1 Archon goes down, another Archon so close to going down, might be able to pick off the High Templar as well, and this might be, it's just so close, I don't want to call it anything. Good storm by Bisu. Another Archon is morphing in. This Archon is probably going to die to these Hydralisks, but more High Templar morphing in. That Archon lives. The Archon lives. And Bisu now attacking more bases, just going in with these Archon. Not going to be able to do too much damage to those lurkers though. And this game is just so back and forth. It is awesome. It's amazing. This is PvZ at its absolute best. This is arguably better than JDog versus Bisu, even though I don't think so, because I love JDog versus Bisu is probably my favorite matchup. But this game is absolutely insane. Almost able to pick off that Defiler. Probably should have committed a little bit more into that. Has built his spawning pool back. Does still have his Hydralisk den. So he's going to be able to get every type of unit that he's been using thus far. Don't know where his Defiler's mounted is. Those Corsairs might be picked up. Here comes Bisu with a big army. There's also a big army for Calm though, putting down a Dark Swarm. Storms going off. everywhere in front there, and Bisu's gonna have to push out. He just doesn't have enough units, doesn't have the zealots in the front, really needs the zealots in the front. Good storm by Bisu. Just that swarm being really annoying. He doesn't have his zealots in the front, which is a little bit disadvantageous for him. But Bisu kind of at a standstill because his Archons can't really move in. Those lurkers at the middle of the map on the left-hand side are really just deterring him from moving in with his Archons. He's mining out, trying to rebuild the base at the bottom right, but if he's not able to do so, I think that Bisu might actually lose this game because he's not going to have any income. When you just don't have any income, you're kind of screwed. You're going to have to work with the army that you have. Calm moving in yet again to this bottom right base. There are 2 Reavers there. Probably be able to deter it. Calm backs up. And just those 5 lurkers, man, are really stopping Bisu with his mass Archon army from moving in. He's lost his main, but he still is at like 2 bases. Here comes some Scourge, able to pick off some Corsairs, but not nearly enough as he really needed. And it looks like Calm's reinforcing in the middle of this map, right between the 2 bases that he has. More forces coming in for Bisu. Looks like Calm's trying to move into the bottom right as well. We're going to see an engagement. Bisu backing up this time. And he might actually have some Reavers in that shuttle. Don't know exactly what he has in that shuttle. He needs to be very careful not to lose those Reavers in that shuttle, because that shuttle has like 2 hit points. Very, very close. Here comes more Archons, and just able to roll right over Calm. He's going to be able to take out these lurkers as well. The Hydros are backing up. Very, very good storms on those units, and here comes Bisu with an absolute killer of an attack, just with mass Archons, able to do so much damage. One of the Archons is getting a little bit greedy though, getting picked off, but he's still going to be able to reinforce. Another storm going off, swarm going down over that lurker, not really going to affect the swarm at all. Another lurker goes down. These Reavers have been plagued, so not going to be as useful as they once were. These Reavers probably getting picked off. One of the other Reavers just barely survives, and Bisu still moving in, still has that Archon army as we saw before, moving in with just a mass Archon, forming Archon at every chance he gets, and really there's no standing army for Cal, and I think that he's going to be able to come away with this game. Cal really, I don't know why I called him Cal, Calm really doesn't have any type of army that we can really see. All of his forces are pretty spread out. Bisu's spread out as well, but not nearly as bad as Calm is. And unfortunately, I think that Calm is going to lose this game. But that's okay with me because I really like Bisu. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to unit composition, and these Archons are going to be pretty freaking effective along with these Zealots versus these Hydralisks. Mass Hydralisk really isn't that effective in the late game versus Protoss. It's the only thing that it's really good at is that timing push, where Manthos Scourge is just getting absolutely eaten up by those Archons, but it's just really good for that timing push when you want to break the Protoss player. And Calm GG's, Bisu wins. So Bisu's going to go on to the next set, and I have no idea who he's going to play, but I might cast that as well. Anyways, that's it from me, guys. Sorry about the audio issues and me pausing it, but hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, please subscribe, give me a like, and I'm out of here. Lates.